I want to lead off with a quote by Billy Gates. You might have heard it, but I think it's a really important one and really interesting to bring up again for the one person who hasn't heard it. The first rule of any technology used in a business is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. It's by Bill Gates, and I always like to think of this. People spend a lot of money on ERP systems, on dashboards, on analytics, on business intelligence, and you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. Buying the software, it's like buying a tool, I always say. So you can get a lot out of a simple tool. I mean, you can get a lot out of just a hammer. You can build a house, but somebody who doesn't know anything can't use it at all. So keep that in mind. There's always a learning curve in all these software packages. So, look for the requirements that you're after and then go right into them and dedicate some time and some resources, If you want something like this and you don't give the people who you are tasking the task with the time, like some space and some time to mess around and not necessarily be productive immediately, then you're never going to get anything out of it. You need space, mental space, time, and this creates creativity. And only with a little bit of blue sky thinking, we want to go, 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 but there's no time to be creative in that time. So that's part of this being efficient also needs some time to play. So I just wanted to bring that up because you need to experiment a little bit to get more out of things. So you know me as a Battleship Cobra, aka Mike Taylor, your friendly neighborhood Business One consultant. And today I'm here to talk about dashboards. So we're talking about the decision speed framework written in the book The Performance Manager. It's an IBM framework. I think it's a great framework. We've been looking at the different decision areas, the different decision sub areas, and you can see previous videos for more information. Each of those sub areas, say finance, sales, has its own sub areas. Each of the decision areas has its own sub areas. And within those sub areas, you have goals, metrics, and dimensions in each one. So again, a goal is a target, a metric is something you measure to see where that target is, and then a dimension is a way of allocating resources or understanding those metrics leading to the goals. So, what are we going to do today? Today we're going to be talking about how to get information from other systems, how Crystal Dashboard Design can get information from other systems, and also how you get the information out of Crystal Dashboard Design in order to use it in other places. So now that you have some idea of the go-meds you want to go after, now you're going to say, where do I get all this information? So Crystal Dashboard Design is a platform, was a source agnostic dashboarding tool. So it's not just designed for one specific thing. It's not just designed for SQL Server. Obviously, a lot of you are going to be using SQL Server. But it can be used with any database, any XML compliant database. So all you have to do is transform the data into a standard XML style, and it can be consumed into Crystal Dashboard Design. So that's the most typical way that things are going to be consumed. So you can do sources such as like ASP to convert things into XML. You can do Crystal Reports, Crystal Server. You can do XML files, flat files, XML maps. You can use Access. You can use web services. You can use Adobe Lifecycle, SQL reporting services, any XML compliant database, web services, Excel, SAP integration framework, B1IF. Business Objects, BI Platform, SAP Universes, SAP Business One, and probably tons of other stuff. Remember, it can be kind of adapted from anywhere. So those will be where you're going to get the data from. Me personally, I'm an SAP Business One consultant, so what I'm normally working with is SQL queries, and Crystal Dashboard Design has a special way of working with SAP Business One to use direct SQL queries through the SAP Business One B1IF. I guess the SAP integration framework B1IF is independent of SAP Business One, but in this case I'm using an SAP Business One connection through the SAP integration framework called B1IF. So it doesn't really matter, and later on I'm going to show you an ASP to XML, very simple method of pulling SQL data into XML using ASP, which can be just published within your intranet, and we'll be doing it that way. I already have a video on deploying an SAP Business One dashboard, so go and look for that if you want much more specific information about that. So if you happen to be using SAP Business One, go and look for my SAP Business One dashboard creation video, and that will give you all the ins and outs and the little details. Today I'm trying not to get super bogged down by technical details. We want to focus on Crystal Dashboard Design and on creating your GOMEDs and creating dashboards that mean something to you. So let's take a look at SAP, and we'll see SAP Business One. SAP Business One is a small, medium enterprise size ERP system. So you have SAP is the king of TLAs, three-letter acronyms. So if you're not familiar with SME, it's a small, medium-sized enterprise. Not to say Crystal Dashboard Design is only for small, medium enterprises. It's for any enterprise size, large or small. But specifically for the small, medium enterprise that I focus on, SAP Business One is a platform tool to integrate all of your separate data silos and processes into one platform. I always try to think of SAP Business One as an aircraft carrier, and then you customize SAP Business One to fit the mission that you're doing. So if you're thinking kind of a military analogy, you sometimes need Marines, sometimes you need helicopters, sometimes you need airplanes, sometimes you need missiles, sometimes you're doing various different duties, and you can customize SAP Business One with a lot of powerful tools to roll your entire business into one framework, and it's really easy to use Crystal Dashboard Design from that particular framework. It has all of your business information from start to finish. Generally, it can cover a large scope, and this is the difference between an off-the-shelf type of program like a QuickBooks or a Simply Accounting or an ACPAC type thing, and you can get all your information one place, and then you can report on it with SQL queries, Crystal Reports, Crystal Dashboard Design, everything. So today we're going to talk about the Crystal Dashboard Design aspect of that, and I'm going to try not to get too SAP Business One heavy. Just start thinking of what I'm doing in terms of your system, and if your system is not really up to snuff, maybe you also need a new system. But Crystal Dashboard Design can adapt to almost any scenario, and just keep that in mind. So let's jump right into the software, and I'll show you how it works. Lately I've been thinking about maybe doing Battleship Cobra shirts, maybe just for myself, and maybe Battleship Cobra mug. This is my favorite mug right here. World's best father. I can't say I'm the world's best father, but I'm trying. I'm trying my best to be the best. That's all you can really do. It's pretty hard to rank, really. But anyways, I have 2 kids. If you didn't know, I'm not going to say too much more about that. Okay, so this is SAP Business One. You can see all these different modules here. So like I was saying, it's an ERP system. It'll cover most business models. Obviously it's a wholesaler type of setup, but it has wholesaling. It has regular sales. You can get retail in there. You can get professional services in there, projects. You can get pharmaceutical. You can get food. You can get production. You can get, true manufacturing. What else? Anything you can think of, you can roll onto here. Out of the box, it has all the different things. Like I said, this is the basic aircraft carrier, if you will. So this is kind of the things that it comes with out of the box. You don't have to buy modules individually, so you can kind of roll all your basic stuff on there and then extend it to use a lot of the best practice sales processes. Everything links and mixes together, and it does all the accounting for you, and it tracks the inventory and everything, so everything's all in one place. So here's like crystal dashboard design in the wild, if you will. So here's a couple of ones that I just include, and I'll throw them in the description at the bottom so that you can just use these if you're an SAP Business One person. Look at my other video, and it'll show you how to install them. It's very easy to just import them, and SAP Business One makes it really easy to deploy these. So you see here current ratio. So I mean, if you're a financial dude, you're going to see this a lot. Current ratio and quick ratio. So these are two really common simple ratios. It's basically just like what do you own? That's current assets versus what do you owe in the short run. So that's current assets over current liabilities. And then quick ratio is like if you had to sell everything and pay everything right now, how much money would you have left? So that's quick ratio. So that's just your current assets, like liquid assets. I guess would you call accounts receivable liquid? Almost, but it's like current assets without inventory. So if you really had to like liquidate right now, where would you be? Um, I've done a couple of little dials here, so you can see that you can just take these and move them, and you can say, okay, well, what if we increased or decreased? Like, what's moving the needle here? Current assets, so we can go, let's, say we increased our accounts receivable, and then you'd say inventory. Okay, so what, if we decrease the amount of inventory, would we be in a good area or increased it? What's moving the needle the most? And then current liabilities. Okay, so if we decreased it 25%, we'd be, so you see this is really moving the needle here. And then you can reset it. So, I mean, this particular business is pretty darn healthy. They're almost at 1 for current and somewhere with 3. So this is a pretty good indicator. Obviously, this is just a fake demo system, but this gives you, immediately as you're going through the day, you're going to see the current ratio and the quick ratio, and you're going to see where are you every couple of days. You can see it. This isn't very dimensional, but it just gives you that information that you can kind of see, and people have requested this a lot here. So second is a little bit more detailed here. So you're going to have sales orders today, invoices today, etc., etc. And it's going to compare them there, so you can see the value, what's today's value versus the month value versus last year's. And you can also see the particular orders for today and this week, and then you can see the invoices for last week. So I can click here, and I can actually click in SAP and open these up. So that's really neat. It's got a really tight integration with Business One, so you can actually use these to bring up the data. So that's even better than an independent thing. So again, Business One is pretty darn good. So there's your orders. Back to the sales summary. So this again, it's live. Like it's not that dimensional. It's extremely simple, but just to show you how it works, this is what we're doing here. So let's jump into the current ratio one and check it out here. So just further to this, we've kind of picked our goals, metrics, dimensions, and we're basically just bringing data in here. And again, this is actually Excel. Remember, this product used to be called Excelsius. So we're seeing here, and it's pretty well organized. Again, this is extremely simple. Current assets non-inventory, current liabilities, and then I'm just doing my factor adjustments using my dials here to adjust everything, and then I'm outputting the current ratio and quick ratio. So this is literally using formulas here. So you can see this one sets here. So I really only need a couple of different fields, and then I can do all this. So again, this one's very extremely simple. So with SAP, this is how you do it. You have a query name, category, query name. You can't pass parameters. I'm not passing any parameters here. So if we look back in SAP, we can see SAP SDK. In the query manager, 04, current ratio. So this is what all I have is current assets without inventory, and then current liabilities. Okay, so here's the really messy SQL, but this basically takes the chart of account information. So we have this account types. This is a current asset. And it adds up all the ones marked as current assets. Then obviously you have inventories. And then you have liabilities. So basically it's taking the value of those. And again, this is SAP Business One, but you need to identify. This is why I can't go over every combination of everything. You need to have some understanding of the data you need, or have some IT people that are willing to talk. Well, not willing, but they work with you and they know your system and they can get the data back for you. So it's obviously better if you can write your queries. And I have videos on how to write queries specifically for SAP Business One. But for your system, knowing your system, you'll get more out of it. So again, you can buy Crystal Dashboard Design and just be responsible for the creating of the dashboards, and then you can get somebody else to provide you the data. It's pretty straightforward, and you basically just run these. I get these 3 output here. I go back, and then in my thing here, I get these 3 output here, and then I'm literally transforming these here into what I need, and you can do all your calculations. So I have here. Exactly the same way you do formulas in Excel, you can do them this way too. Extremely simple. Then when you have the numbers you want, I'm literally just taking the value here. So I'm taking, in this case, the current ratio, and I just link the specific range. And then I'm taking a maximum limit. In this case, I've just hard coded the limit here because I did a little bit of research, and obviously below minimum of 1, you don't have 1-to-1 at least ratio, so you owe more than you have. So obviously below 1 is not good. From 1 to 3 is apparently a okay range. You can cover your short-term debts, and 3 plus is obviously excellent. So I just kind of arranged it like that, and you can see how that's reflected here. Same with your other gauge. So this one is just using a different, it's using the quick ratio instead. And then I also have, output a label that tells you what the exact ratio is and where it is. So this is pretty cool. Now I have this, so I'm doing a -25 to +25. That's the data there. So you can see that when you twist this knob, it's going to go from -25 to +25 as an output, and then it's going to go here, and it's going to take this times the percentage times that, and it's going to adjust it in there. So each one of these is the same. It's just outputting -25 +25 and adjusting this as a factor to give you this total current ratio. So there's lots of things, and enable the sound. That's kind of fun. If you jump back in here, you got hopefully that's playing. I like that little noise, and then doink, and it comes back. So that's really fun. And reset and refresh. These are from the data sources, so I can say refresh, current ratios, and then reset button. This basically just resets everything back to 0. Well, and also leaves the original data. Okay, so with the second one, it's a little bit more complicated, a lot bit more complicated. So you're going to have orders today, orders this week, orders this month, etc. You can get more dimensional, or split this down by more of a product line or whatever. But again, for small, medium, we're just trying to keep it simple here. So I'm going to open that up. Not going to save it. It's really the same thing here. It's just more complicated. So let's take a look at Excel. So again, this is full Excel. I think this is Excel 2016. So we have the same stuff. We have different things here. So we're saying order detail on, order detail off. So show. So as we're going through, you can use the buttons to adjust what's being shown here. So each one of these tabs outputs a button source into a destination, and when those various things match, then it's going to hide or show these panels. So I did each one of these little tabs, so they're hidden or shown. So this is what it looks like, and it's really the same. So you have a chart here, and the chart has the same type of stuff. So you have two series. You're picking the performance value, comparative, and scale values. So those are the black, gray in the back, the green in the front, and the little bar. And you can customize the appearance of all these different series, and you can make the different sizes, and you can adjust everything, and you can have your different behavior here with the auto axis and all these different things in here. So let's see what else we have. Lots and lots of different stuff in here. So data animation. So it's really nice and simple. And then you basically have doc entry, date. You have everything that's being imported here from SAP. So the data would fill this up. So here's the invoices. Here is what we're doing to export these. So let's go back to SAP and we're going to look at this one. So daily sales totals. So again, here's our SQL. This is just kind of ugly SQL, but giving me what I need: year, month, week, order day, order week, etc., etc. And that's going to compare there what I need, and all that needs to do is get that information out to here, and then I use those in various places. Then I use a second one to get me the invoice details. So internal number, order details here, same thing. And then I use those to export here, orders and invoices, and those are used to populate these spreadsheet items in this container behind. So, oops, I just need to move this over. Yeah. And then I can see this. So this is a spreadsheet here linked to the specific series there. So this is the invoicing. This would be linked to your invoice stuff there. And then that allows you to do all the interactions and stuff that you need to do in order to integrate that with SAP. So I'm not going to talk too much about that, but again, it has all the different controls, and you can format this using colors and everything. And it really is an easy, simple way. Buttons, query groups, so these three queries, and these are what are integrated through the data connections here. So I have XML. So these ones are used to pull the order details. So let's look at the sales total. So this is from SAP. So this actually sends the query, says refresh it, and this loads the query back. Okay, so this refreshes, so that's easy. So I click this and it tells you where the name is and where it outputs to, where the name is. Order details, same thing. So this is XML data. So it is literally passing this through, telling SAP to run this and to return it as XML. And then these FS commands are what are using, what are allowing me to do order codes in SAP. So that's the data. So that's a little bit more complicated. You can get infinitely more complicated. Some of the SAP dashboards have, I don't know, tons and tons and tons of these, if you've seen them. And obviously, you pretty much, I mean, there are certain limitations on some of these, but on some of them you can just do whatever you want. So web service connection, I think we're at the limit of XML data. So once you have your dashboard created, what are you going to do with it? Obviously, with SAP Business One, I've been going on blah, 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 SAP Business One. You can deploy it. So see my other videos about deploying it to SAP Business One. But if you have any other method you want to use, you can use that too. So if you want to publish it in a Crystal report, you want to publish it to a website, whether that's internet or intranet. So, you know, within your network. So say just a local network, or internet in some sort of portal. You can do that too. You can put it in a PDF where it's live within your intranet. You could do it as a PDF with a web service outside in the internet too. That's pretty cool. You could do a PowerPoint and literally have live data within your PowerPoint. Crystal reports. Okay, let me just read that. SharePoint. You could do desktop applications and widgets. You could do Microsoft PowerPoint. You could do Microsoft Word. You could do Microsoft Outlook. You could do Adobe Acrobat. That's a PDF. You could do Adobe Flash, Adobe Air, Crystal Reports, SAP Crystal Server, and website. So like I was saying, intranet and or internet. So that's a lot of ways to publish things. And it's nice if it's inside your system, such as Business One. But not everybody's gonna have access to the system, and especially if they are executive type reports, you could have them just running live somewhere, run them on a TV. I've been waiting for somebody to do this. Make a little application, run them on a TV somewhere, and have a live dashboard that everybody can see. I mean, how much more accountable can you be than that? So we learned a ton today. How are you going to connect your system to get the data out? We did an overview of one system, that's SAP Business One, and how information gets in and out. So we showed the queries, we showed basic SQL queries, we showed how things are connecting with the data tabs, we showed example components, and then we talked about how to get the data out, to use it in your various methods. So sorry I can't go over every single way of doing this. There's basically infinite combinations of ways of connecting. So I would just be doing video after video after video, and every single person would want a separate iteration of what they're gonna do. Again, because I'm an SAP Business One consultant, just see my SAP Business One video and I think everything will make sense there. And I've done that a few times, but I'm going to be doing an ASP to XML example that's a little less system agnostic, and you can use that, like we'll just do it as a little mini intranet website and something like that. So you can SharePoint or whatever. You can publish it wherever you want, wherever it makes sense. And sometimes, you know, you give somebody too much rope and they hang themselves. Not a good thing, but too many options is harder to decide, but it's always good to be able to make something really flexible. So that's what Crystal Dashboard Design aims to do, and that's what we're gonna go with. So thank you guys so much for joining me. This is Battleship Cobra, aka Mike Taylor. If you would ever consider buying a t-shirt or a mug, just let me know. I might just make them for myself, because screw it, that's all I'm doing this for, really, is myself. And I enjoy it. I think it's cool. So maybe I'll do a couple t-shirts or something, or do a giveaway. And let me know what other videos you like. If you're liking the videos, give me a thumbs up. If you had any questions, comment below. Remember to check the links. There's a couple of resources there for different connection methods, and also my free current ratio dashboard and a daily sales dashboard for SAP Business One. So sorry if you want to use this for another system, it's specifically for SAP Business One, but it's a good example. You can still just use it, open it in a demo version of SAP Crystal Dashboard Design, and give it a try. But don't forget to check out my support me at battleshipcobra.com. The best ways to support me is to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.